And welcome back to World of Warships with your host, X-Brad TC. Today, Lieutenant Rusty takes out the Soviet Tier 5 destroyer, the Gnevny. The Russian destroyer line, if you remember when the game first came out, you had only the Japanese line and the American line. And the Japanese destroyers were fast, small, very stealthy, and had very good torpedoes. The American destroyers were somewhat more robust, usually not quite as fast, not as stealthy, had not very good torpedoes, but had very good guns. So you had to learn to play to the strength of one or the other, depending on which one you were operating. The Soviet destroyers tend to favor the American style. They're fast, they're not terribly stealthy, they have terrible torpedoes at the lower tiers. The Tier 5, they have pretty good torpedoes, not great. But they have fantastic guns, just really excellent guns. As I recall, the Gnevny is armed with 5 130mm guns and has a very good rate of fire. The turret rotation speed's a little low, but excellent range, excellent muzzle velocity, giving you a very flat trajectory, makes it much easier to aim and hit the target. Today we're on the straight map. Lieutenant Rusty is going hunting. Generally, whenever Rusty or I are on the straight map, if we're in the north, we peel to the north and head towards that small island there. If we're in the south, there's a similar cluster of islands, we'll peel to the south. That just generally seems to be how the game is played here. Now Rusty, what he's hoping to do, in addition to spotting the enemy, trying to grab the cap, all that good stuff, what he's hoping to do is have one of the battleships isolate himself and be an easy target to attack. Unfortunately, Rusty, so busy shooting at the enemy and dodging, runs into the island. That's usually a very good way for a destroyer to get sunk. You get slow, get trapped in a spot, and you're very vulnerable. In this case, nobody's shooting at him right now, even though he's visible. And off go the torps. Alright, he takes a hit from that cruiser over there. But only one. And time to run. Didn't do a lot of damage to him. But he did get his torps out. And let's see what happens. Goodbye. First blood and a devastating strike. 2 torpedoes into him. Japanese cruiser put his torpedoes out. Not a bad guess on where to shoot, but not quite good enough to get Rusty. Look at these guns. Excellent, excellent use. I mean, you are generally, in a Soviet destroyer, better standing off at a long range and just peppering your target with high explosives and setting them on fire. In close range against a cruiser, the Gnevny's guns will have no problems penetrating for a citadel hit, but of course that leaves you vulnerable to counterfire, and destroyers just don't have the health to stand up to that very long. I thought Rusty was going to try and close in here for another torpedo attack, and I think he was thinking about it. But apparently he decides, no, I'm going to go hunting somewhere else. He's already got the cap point seized. We've got a friendly squatting on it. He's going to pepper this guy for a while longer before he decides to try something else. You'll notice, he's getting rounds out almost continuously, whereas the target, he only gets to shoot every 30 seconds or so. So he's relatively safe with his broadside exposed like this. You just got to remember to turn before the enemy reloads and shoots at you. Another cruiser shooting at him. Took a hit, nothing terrible. Knocked out his engine, but he's got the last stand commander skill, so he can still drive. Or excuse me, that took out his steering, which you want to be maneuvering anyway. Watch the friendly torpedoes go by. What do you think? Should we go in again? Nah, let's go somewhere else. Where are we going to shoot at this time? There's a battleship we can shoot at. Once again, excellent guns. Makes it very easy to pepper the enemy. Only doing a few hundred damage each time. I mean, you're not going to sink them with gunfire. But you whittle away at them. You make easier for your team. You set them on fire, and eventually you can do an awful lot of damage to a battleship by setting them on fire. But hey, you're in a destroyer. You've closed in within secondary battery range. Time to unleash your capital ship killing weapons, your torpedoes. And this guy doesn't even start to turn. He's got to know torpedoes are coming. But that's it. He's done. And, of course, Rusty did take quite a bit of damage on that. Much of it from the battleship's secondary batteries. But he's lost about half his health. Time to pop smoke, run away. He's drawn way too much attention from the cruisers. Now, that salvo was blind fired, I think. Enemy knows there's a destroyer in the smoke and just unloads the broadside in there. Notice now, while he was in the smoke, he was able to get a couple of salvos off at the cruiser before he was detected. The smoke screen was hiding him. And now that he's out of the smoke screen, he's detected again. But he's at such long range, he's still able to use the excellent characteristics of his gun against a slightly larger target to get some good solid hits. And yet, he's kind of a tough target to hit in return. Easily able to maneuver to avoid return fire. What else should we look for here? Looks like that Cleveland you was shooting at is out of range for now. Head towards the B capture point. Maybe grab it. Our team's theoretically winning. We both lost 4 ships, 2 of which Rusty has sunk. We're slightly ahead on points, but that's changing. Once you start having one team build up a 1 or 2 ship lead, it's very, very difficult to come back from. Oh, okay. Here we go. Got a battleship and a destroyer to shoot at. Rusty's going to start taking the guns, trying to kill the destroyer. The Gnevny is very, very good at killing destroyers. That nice flat trajectory, the high muzzle velocity, very short time of flight means it gets to kill destroyers very quickly. Just a couple more rounds, and Rusty's in. Hey, got him. You'll notice Rusty's already in secondary battery range of this battleship. Has to dodge the torpedoes that he knew were coming in from that destroyer. And now, he's almost out of health, but it's time. Battleship's coming for him, trying to get his turrets around. Sees a low health destroyer. Has to know there's torpedoes coming. And he's down. That's 4. Couple more hits. Rusty is trying to get out of here. Does not want to be shot at anymore. He's got like 380 health points left. Unfortunately for Rusty, the rest of his team is doing pretty much nothing. Out of the 6 kills that his team would get, Rusty got 4 of them. And his team is going to lose, by the way. And Sadly, Rusty is not going to survive this match. He's going to be run down. He's trying to take out one more ship. He's got an eye on a target. He does not have managed to capture the base. Does not have the health to stand up to a target very long. But his torpedoes will be reloaded in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So he has got his eyes on a target. This is a Phoenix-class light cruiser coming around the headland. And he's just on the ragged end of the range, but he's coming in, so he will actually drive into range of the torpedoes. Unfortunately for Rusty, trying to keep a slim aspect on the target, he ran around again. I think he knows by now he's doomed. The Phoenix is another excellent cruiser for hunting destroyers. And unfortunately, the Phoenix is also smart enough to dodge torpedoes. And so that's going to be it for our hero, Rusty. And it's also going to be it for his team, pretty much. They really don't accomplish anything else the rest of the match. Like I said, 2/3 of the kills in this match were by Rusty alone. 92,000 in damage, 356,000 credits, 4 ships sunk. A well-played game. Obviously came in first on the team by a 500-point margin, but all for naught. All right, that's going to be it for this episode of World of Warships with your host, X-Brad TC, and we will catch you later.